Don't miss your chance to preview the highest grade goods at the lowest possible prices. Gather up! E.F. Hamlin Hardware, founded in 1875, now 33 short years later, it stands here in 1908 as the largest general store in St. Augustine and third largest in the state of Florida. No less a man than Henry Flagler uses C.F. Hamlin to supply all of his fine hotels and railroads throughout the state, even that new hotel he's building in the Bahamas. But if everybody could follow me inside, however, please make sure to watch your step as you're coming in.
Ron, you have to take some pictures.
Oh yes. we don't have to use it too often, but when we do, it's all nice to have it.
You need a pair of those long johns?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. I could wear them. Co-design.
Those laced up. I can't remember what they call those things. There ain't no way I would have wanted to wear those. Laced up
Corsets.
corsets, is that what it's called?
Yes.
I would have never made it in that era.
I just want to get the names of these things. They're so different.
Breathing would have been a problem.
Folks, as you can see, we have a little bit of everything from washboards to waffle irons, butter molds, to cameras, hard goods, dry goods, machinery, candy. We've got it all, and as a token of our appreciation, you may all have a delicious and a free piece of stick candy. Now, our flavors for today, we got a cherry flavored, a green apple flavored, lemonade flavored, or pepper.
Is this green apple? The green one.
Yeah. I'll take green apple. Okay, I gotta have coffee.
Just put it in the outside pocket.
There you go.
What's a butter mold? Somebody said I had one. So what's a butter mold?
Oh, but after you get we need to sell our goods and, well, frankly, you need our goods the perfect marriage. So let me ask you all something. What could be finer than a freshly ground cup of coffee in the morning? Nothing, exactly. So if everybody could take a look over here, now you can see a lovely little coffee grinder that'll last you a lifetime. Now it's compactly sized to fit in any modern day kitchen. I give you the Enterprise Manufacturing Company floor model number 218. Very easy to operate. So you put your coffee beans in the top, undo the latch, then you give the big wheel a bit of a spin, and in no time at all, well, you're gonna have a freshly ground coffee ready for your enjoyment. And we're selling this entire device for the low price of $12.80, deliverable in 2 weeks in the St. Augustine area. So, what do you say, folks? Anybody interested? No, you're nodding your head there, man? Yes, excellent. Okay, we'll work out the details later. In the meantime, though, folks, I can tell you'd all like something a bit special. Am I right? Yeah, something that'll set you apart from the everyday crowd. Sorry, pardon me. That something is our Edison cylinder music player. Just imagine after a hard day's work, relaxing in your parlor with Scott Joplin, Ada Jones, or George M. Cohen washing over you. Let's give it a listen. There we go. Now, I'm sure we all recognize this lovely little melody, correct? It's After the Ball by Charles K. Harris, which has sold over 2 million pieces of sheet music due to its heartbreaking story of an older man telling his niece why he never married. You see, folks, while at the ball, he saw his sweetheart kissing another man on the cheek. Now, understandably upset, he refused to listen to her explanation, and it wasn't until many years later, after she had died, he discovered the other man she had been kissing had, in fact, been her brother. It's tragic, I know, but what isn't tragic is this type of entertainment can be yours for $32 on the barrelhead. So, what do you say, folks? Anybody interested?
Oh, I can't.
How much was the salary back then in those days?
Average, I'm not sure salary, but average hourly wage in 1908 would be around 22 cents an hour. It's not quite as cheap as it sounds. But now if everybody can take a look in the center here, now I ask you, isn't this the most beautiful corn sheller you've ever seen?
I never saw one.
Oh, well then this is an excellent place to start. So you begin by removing the safety covering, then you take a piece of corn, you insert the corn, reattach the safety covering, and would anybody like to volunteer for the next part?
Go ahead.
You're right there.
I don't know what's best.
Yeah.
Just step on over this a bit more efficient way. Just to put
turn
your
that
hand
away.
on the wheel, pull towards yourself as fast as you can. Keep going, doing just fine.
Keep going. Keep going.
You can see the turtles come out of the bottom, and then the cob is going to be coming out of the side here. Now I'll take care of that.
There it comes.
Excellent, excellent. Now, folks, I'm particularly proud of the worm syrup here because, as you can see, you need to purchase all 3 bottles for the complete set of directions. However, just whatever your heart desires, and a simple monthly payment will secure your goods. Now, naturally, there's a small matter of interest rates, cost of which is swiftly swept away by the pleasures of ownership. Now, ladies, I ask you, well, have you ever seen a finer collection of footwear in your lives? I didn't think so, because each one of these is handcrafted from the finest of kid leathers. They can be sized to perfection, so how many can I put you down for? 1 of each color?
How much were they?
Oh, we can work out the details later. In the meantime, let's have a quick look at one of our more unique items. Now see, this here's a number 4 universal bread maker from Landers, Ferrari and Clark, which was awarded the gold medal in the 1904 St. Louis Exposition because it's very easy to operate. You put your ingredients inside, then I give the handle a turn, and now that'll take care of the kneading process and form the dough, which you put in the oven for a freshly baked loaf of bread. Now this one is selling for $1.79. So who will be the first to own this marvelous bread maker? No, not bad. That's fine, because while we're on the subject,
6 hours of work.
we have other culinary contraptions. Butter churners, cherry pitters, cabbage slices, apple peelers, bean slicers. Excuse me. Well, folks, I know what your real problem is. You're all tired of waiting for your cow's milk to separate into cream. Well, don't worry, because this here is a cream separator. Now, the way it works is you turn the handle, that'll activate the worm gear mechanism. There we go, and cause the milk to spin. Now, heavier milk that sticks to the sides, while cream, which is lighter, collects in the middle, and when it's done, they come out of these spouts, just like in that lovely picture up there.
Can you imagine living a farm doing that?
And then when you've got extra cream, so excuse me, you can use our newest item here. This is the Imperial Noiseless Milkshake Maker. What you do is take your 5 ingredients in here. That's creams, sugars, ice, milk, as long as you don't forget the 5th and most important ingredient in a milkshake. Now, does anybody know what that is?
Flavor.
Flavor? It matters. What was that, sir?
Rum.
Rum, yes, sir. Rum, or really whatever alcohol you desire, folks. But let's all take a moment to appreciate the humble tranquility of the noiseless milkshake maker. And folks, just imagine the health benefits. $9.60, again, completely noiseless. I can hardly hear a thing. So what do you say, folks? Anybody interested? Very good, very cool. Old Sam isn't much of a conversation. He's got a bit of a one-track mind, if you will. Now, this here's our warehouse, and I don't know that much about this portion of the store, but we do have a warehouse manager that does. Now, isn't that right, Andrew?
How you doing?
Andrew, I'm sorry to interrupt you. These folks are pretty good shoppers, actually, and they just demanded to see the warehouse. So can you show them around a few minutes?
I suppose I could.
Very good, I appreciate that, folks. I believe in you, Mr. Andrews, very capable hands. And again, my name is Lester. Have a wonderful day. You're very welcome.
Oh my gosh.
How you all doing today?
Good, good.
My grandmother had an old sewing machine.
Alright, well, let's see if we can find stuff for you back here. We'll start up top. We got copper boilers, spinning wheels, bathtubs, high chairs, and all that sort of stuff. Even got those little space heaters. Those come in handy on the cooler days, like we're having. Which over here, all of your sewing machines, cobbler's bench down here, all your needles and such there. Typewriters and adding machines if you happen to have a business, very, very handy. But if you want some items for your home, step past you, sir, right over here. I have a couple different items that might be useful, like the leisure vacuum cleaner. Doesn't even require electricity, because all you have to do is push and pull. These pistons are hooked to the axle. As they move back and forth, pulls a suction in these two chambers, this one and this one. All the dirt goes right up this can.
Oh, my word.
Best part is it only weighs about 60 pounds. Nice and lightweight for you.
60 pounds.
I was going to
Now,
handheld
when was something like that in use? What year would you say?
Oh, that would have been around 1908, 1909, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Here we also have the handheld version. Up and down pumping motion there, yeah. This one would be used for like stairs and things like that. We're just a little too much trouble to lift that. But if you want something to help you with your washing, you do have right here a very, very nice washer. It's a manual one that's been made automatic through the use of gears, wheels, belt, leading back to this treadmill here. It's designed mostly for small animals, but a goat, pig, sheep, large dog, children, whatever you happen to have. Let them walk. Lever goes back and forth, powers the agitator down inside. All you gotta do is take the clothes out, run them through your rinse cycle a few more times through the wringer to get them all the water out and up onto the line to dry. Saves you probably around 30-40 minutes because you didn't have to sit there back and forth by hand. Now, if you want a larger version of this, we do happen to have it. It's against this far wall over here, though. Wow. That is the $95 Huebner's horse treadmill.
Oh, gee.
Guaranteed to be 1 horsepower per treadmill. That's really all you can fit on. Now, it powers the other red machine, this one right beside the barrels here. That is the $325 Farquhar Thresher. 2 items like this, these are ones from the same family, will not only provide you all sorts of added productivity and the like, they'll also make you a little bit of money on the side if you're willing to rent them out to the other farms around you. Make a little money on the side. Let's see, maybe you want something that's not a very work related, you want something fun. We do have some bicycles hanging up there. In fact, I'm going to have Bill up there lower one of those down to make sure you're not directly under it. Well, anytime. There we go. A little slow today. And this right here, folks, is what we call the safety bicycle. Because it's the absolute safest of this high wheel variety. The first of the high wheels, though, is still up there at the ceiling. That's the penny farthing. It's nice looking, but I'm not sure I'd want to ride it. I prefer my bicycles to come with brakes. That one up there does not have any. The reason being, well, put a brake on the big front wheel, see what happens. Or just pull everything up and over the top, dump you right on your head. There's a reason they called them skull crackers. Yeah. Even if you took the brake off, you still have that problem. So here, we have the modification of it. Very, very simple one. Put the small wheel in the front instead of the back. Changes the entire way it works. Now if you apply a brake, which is right here under the handlebar, it tries to pull forward, small wheel stops that from happening, has to slow down. Yeah. Still leaves you the question of how you get on and off.
Yeah, since that would be
Yeah. Not too difficult to do that, just simply run alongside the bicycle, step on the pedal, pedal's going to keep rotating and lift you up, you throw your right leg over when you're high enough up, you're in the saddle, and off you go. Easy as can be.
I feel my honey.
Now to get back off of it, it's pretty easy as well. It's actually a 2-step process. Apply the brake, throw your right leg over. One way or the other, you're off. How you land's up to you. We can't help you with everything. Now there's a bicycle academy here in town that can teach you how to ride it. Get you on and off of them nice and safely. Get you a certificate that shows you know how to do it. Take that to the city and you'll get yourself a bicycle license rather easily. Those are required in order to legally ride these around town.
I wonder if they developed this with the big wheel, why wouldn't they have done it smaller and make it easier to get on? I mean, they eventually did, but we think that
Well,
would
the
be...
reason is they didn't have the gears and chains and all that yet. This was a 1-to-1 rotation. If you wanted to go faster, had to have a bigger wheel. Yeah. And that did make them much more dangerous, is why you needed the license and all that. Now you could get around it so long as you had a little bit of money. If you bought yourself a automobile, there was no training or license required for them. Just bought one and went. Now, speaking of the Bicycle Academy, it's owned by a gentleman you probably heard of once or twice named Henry Flagler. Now, Mr. Flagler is our biggest customer. We have all sorts of different deliveries for him, including this big chandelier up here. It's an iron chandelier with electric lights, which is fitting considering it's going to the Ponce de Leon Hotel, the first building in town to ever get electricity. Back during the 1880s, Mr. Flagler insisted his new hotel, that was still being built at the time, was going to have the best of all the amenities that he could. And he got his wish, even though he had to bring Thomas Edison himself down from the New York, New Jersey area to do it. Put in 2 big old electric generators, wired the whole place up, light bulbs, everything. It worked fantastic. Must be nice to be one of the richest men in the world to afford Thomas Edison's hourly rate, though. Other delivery we got for him is right over here. This cherry wood vanity with these 3 pieces of marble, nice clear glass, going to the Alcazar Hotel, and that's where that Bicycle Academy is located. It's going to one of their top suites. I know. Going to one of their top suites, which means, of course, I'm not really going to be able to afford to go see it again once it gets delivered. Speaking of why I can't quite afford some of the things back here, he brings to this gentleman. This is my boss, Mr. Hamblin. He owns the whole place. And he had this painted and put back here so we'd always remember who the boss was, even if he's on the day off. Those must be nice to get, by the way. But he's very particular about it, insists that we clean it off every day, so I like to give him a good cleaning.
Be careful with that dust rag.
Sorry, Mr. Hamblin.
I've been listening to your sales presentation. I didn't hear you ask them to buy.
I'm not the salesman.
There's no money for payroll until a sale is consummated.
Talk to Lester.
I'm Charles F. Hamblin, proprietor of St. Augustine's oldest store. Fair prices and liberal credit, our policy. We opened our doors in 1875. By then, most of the carpetbaggers and scalawags had been run out, and the tragic Reconstruction period following the Civil War all but passed. St. Augustine was the oldest city in the United States.
Still is.
And it looked it. Then, 1885, a man by the name of Henry Flagler arrived, and within a few years he made this city come alive with prosperity, taking over the railroads, building grand hotels and churches, and even that new jail right outside our front door. As Mr. Flagler continued pushing his railroad down Florida's east coast, he became my best customer, a boon to all of Florida, and to me. Hamlin's sold Flagler goods for Daytona, Palm Beach, Miami, even out to Key West and all the way over to Nassau in the Bahamas. We expanded until we had over 3/4 of an acre under roof, the largest store in St. Augustine, and the 3rd largest in the state of Florida. Don't sit on the merchandise.
Sorry.
After years and years in business, I feel right at home here in the oldest store. And I trust you will enjoy shopping at Hamblin's. My clerk will now take your orders. And remember, no is only a request for more information.
Now, hold on. Does that mean I request more information about my rate?